Alright then, so today we're doing something a bit different. I've decided to come out in a rather special car to me, and it is my McLaren 650S. So the 650S, what do we know about it? Well, it's a really rare car. There was about 2,700 McLaren 650Ss made, and about 80% of those were Spiders, like this one. Now, I'm all about rarity, normally, same as Dan. We try and go for things that are different and rare and everything else. So I really get it. But of those 80%, the majority of them went to hotter climates like America, Dubai, the Emirates, etc. So actually there's probably a more even split here in the UK of coupes to Spiders, and the Spiders still fetch more money. Now, the reason why I think that is, quite frankly, is how McLaren designed the 650 and the 12C before it. The Spider, really, unless you're looking properly at it, and you know what you're talking about in relation to cars and models and everything else, you look at it and you probably wouldn't know it was a Spider with quickly glancing at it, because it's a very neat mechanism, folding split hardtop. So I think it gives you all the practicality of a coupe with the convertible factor as well. There's no real loss of speed, structural rigidity, and certainly there's not an awful lot more weight. And in terms of cabin noise, as far as I'm concerned, there's negligible difference at all. So McLaren in 2011 launched this car, the MP4-12C, one hell of a long name, and it didn't really catch on for that reason as a name, so it was abbreviated to 12C, the McLaren 12C. And it was a huge leap for McLaren because, as I say, they'd never done any of their own mass-produced cars for the public, not backed or not in conjunction with anyone else. That's massive. The amount of money, time, research and development and everything that would go into that is just galactic. It really is eye-watering. So it's a huge feat, and fair play to them, because as a brand now, whilst they're not always in the news for everything good in the automotive world, they've done one hell of a job and they've built one hell of a brand. So the 12C came to market, and customers' cars came to market in 2012, and the nice thing about them was you didn't need to be some crazy celebrity to buy one. As long as you had the money, which was a lot, you could buy one. So they became very, very popular overnight. So the car, the 12C, it came to market with just under 600 horsepower. Very, very technologically advanced car, active aero, so that was underneath the rear wing. It had gull wing doors, 0 to 60 of circa 3 seconds, top speed of goodness knows what. I'm sure it's close to 200 miles an hour. So it was just an instant hit overnight. It was just one of these cars that everybody aspired to own. Now, what McLaren didn't do very well at the time was their final build quality. And their final build quality was, it had gaps, okay? They were subcontracting a lot of their things out to externals, understandably, things like the infotainment system and all those kinds of things. They were running before they were walking at a point. So it just left a lot of gaps in a lot of places. And McLaren, in fairness to them, they did their best. As the car evolved, they knew what they needed to fix. They recalled a lot of cars. They replaced a lot of the iris system, which is in my car. The iris 1, which was in the original 12C, wasn't particularly good. It used to freeze a lot. It didn't really have an awful lot of functionality, and it wasn't very ergonomic. It wasn't very easy to use. But as I say, McLaren recognised that. They worked with the people that design these things, put them in the later model cars, replace them where needed, in the earlier cars, and it all started to work and piece together. Now, a lot of people wouldn't have put up with that very easily, and it's kind of understandable. I do get it. When you're spending £200,000+ on a car, you want it to be right. But I think the way that people should have viewed it, and this is very easy for me to say because I wasn't there, but the way people should have viewed it was that they were part of an evolution. They were part of the start of a journey. Yes, they were guinea pigs, but it wasn't intentional. So the 12C ran from about 2012 to 2014. One of the biggest problems, before I go on to the next model, that McLaren did was that they said it was an exclusive car, it was going to be niche, it was going to be unique, people weren't going to be existing owners, that to protect the values and the brand and everything else, there wasn't going to be a new model out every couple of years and things like that. But what McLaren did was they essentially facelifted the 12C. That's how I view the 650S. The 650S came out in about 2014. And as I say, for me, it's the evolved 12C. The 650 is the evolved 12C. It's got more of a P1 style front end, which makes it a little bit more iconic and, dare I say it, prettier and more modern. It retained the majority of the rear end of the car, the gull-wing doors, the majority of the interior from the 12C. So it was just, as I say, a bit of a facelift. Now that angered a lot of the 12C owners, and understandably when they'd spent all that money and promised something that wasn't really a thing. So what McLaren tried to do was keep people on side by upping the power, a power upgrade for the 12C, to get it closer to the 650S setup, which is a clever technique really, and that did appease a lot of the owners for a lot of time. So why did I choose a 650? The 650S, as I say, is an absolutely wonderful model for lots and lots of reasons. It does everything I need it to do. It's a little bit more reliable than a 12C because of the evolution there. So it's just that fine-tuned one. If that doesn't work, we'll replace it with that. That doesn't work, we'll replace it with that. That doesn't work quite as well as we thought, we'll tweak it with this. And this is what became the 650. And as a result, it's regarded as one of the most reliable McLaren models that they've ever done. It's before the new age McLarens of the 570 and the 720S, where they ran before they could walk again and really pushed the boundaries even further. Again, they've changed that now. They've fixed those problems. But at the time, this was without a doubt the best value and most reliable car that they did. So this brings me on to probably really the closing information and stuff that I wanted to do on this video about McLaren ownership. Now, I would be nervous about owning an early 12C, especially if it had done high miles, and also at the opposite end of the spectrum, super low mile cars, because they can be problematic. But the 650, around about cars that have done 20, 30,000 miles, good provenance, had all the things replaced, upgraded and everything else, they are a very, very, very reliable model, and at 80 to circa £100,000, I think they represent superb value for money, especially when you've got the likes of a P1 style front end, the more updated infotainment system with DAB, with a navigation that works, with phone integration that doesn't de-pair every 2 minutes, and all these kinds of things. But also from a reliability perspective, as I say, they just seem to be that little bit sharper. And so when people talk about McLarens being unreliable, we understand them, but they are getting to the age now where a lot of the teething problems that plagued early McLarens and later ones have been sorted, have been fixed. And then you then go to the dealer network, which can be part of the problem. And in fairness, the McLaren network do have high costs from parts and labour. But one of the best things that's come about from McLaren of late is that they have a wonderful, extended, approved dealer network now. So we have a wonderful relationship with V Engineering, there's Thorney Motorsport and a couple of other independents as well that can do servicing repairs at a fraction of the price. On top of the fact that we can now offer warranties on cars under 10 years old with £140 an hour labour rate and claim limit of the price of the car, so up to £100,000 or so, for prices starting from £1,000 for a 2-year warranty. That makes it a significantly better and very more interesting prospect. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel and this video, and we'll see you on the next one.